Hey guys, welcome to another Home Lab series video here today. In today's video, I will be sharing how you can set up and install Slink, which is an image sharing hosted service that someone created that you can use essentially to upload images, share it with the public, or share it with a friend or a colleague with a private link that you can use so that those are more private sharings if you need to share files, especially images across, multiple people. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing that we'll need to do to set up this service in our home lab is we'll want to create a DNS entry for it so then we can run our Ansible playbooks across the VM to, configure all the things that we need up to, the actual configuration to set it up. So what we'll do is go to our GitLab, update our zone for dragon.local, and we'll add another IP entry here, which will be called Slink. And we'll add this here. And we'll be 156. And then we'll commit that. So add Slink. So that will essentially create our DNS entry, ship this file out to our DNS server, reload the zone, and it should appear and work. The other thing that we'll need to do is add it to our Ansible inventory as well, because we will need to be able to target the machine. And to do so, we will need it to actually know that it exists. So we'll scroll all the way down, add it in here to Slink, and we'll add Slink. So we will let this essentially populate. So this playbook will also essentially post an update. So it'll update the project with the new thing and update our inventories as well for any new host. So from here, we can go to our AWX instance now, which we can see in the jobs that this should have sunk. So it actually failed on the source control update. So let's double check that right here. And this sometimes fails because the Ansible Galaxy sometimes isn't available. I should just create a new Galaxy instance. I should create a Galaxy instance that's self-hosted. That would be actually kind of cool. Maybe I'll add that to my project list. So now it works. And then we can go back to jobs and we'll make sure the inventory also resyncs correctly too. So we'll relaunch that to make sure it actually appears. But from here, what we can do is essentially create a new virtual machine. And we'll use the workflow template to actually create the machine, patch it, install Docker and Docker Compose, because that's what we'll need to run this, because we'll use Docker Compose to essentially run this, because that's a lot simpler than doing other things. It will also create certs on our step CA for it. So we have HTTPS and set up Nginx on the machine with the new certs so that we can do HTTPS without having to configure everything. So we will launch this template. We'll enter a few things. So in this case, the host name will just be called Slink. The new IP will be 156. We'll name this just Dragon Slink so that it shows up in our Proxmox cluster. And then the proxy address will be where Slink would be running. So let's look at Slink Docker real quick. We can go to their GitHub. And it should say, if you scroll down, there's the installation. And it will say, essentially, it will expose port 3000. So we'll use HTTP localhost 3000. And we will hit next and then launch. So this will essentially take a few minutes because it will actually go through, create the stuff, patch it, install things, and set up all the things. So while that's going, let's take a look at the GitHub documentation here. So they have this Docker Compose file that we'll use. So let's copy this into Visual Studio Code here. This is actually not formed correctly, so if you just use it out of the box, you're going to actually have some issues, because actually it needs to start with services and then Slink afterwards. So we'll actually tab everything over one. I think it's services. Let me double check that real quick. I'm pretty sure I need services. Yeah, there's an S. Services. So services Slink. And then we'll put our time zone. So we're in America, Chicago. The origin will be actually HTTPS, and we will have slink.dragon.local. Then we got a few other things like user approval and other things. So we leave all those as default since I don't think we technically need to change it. But after that, this should work after you change the first two things and add services and tab everything over. So we'll keep this configuration ready. Let's take a look at our playbook. So now it created the VM. It's going to patch. So this will actually take a few minutes. So I'm gonna fast forward the video to when this is done. All right. So now that it has finished setting everything up, we should be able to open up a terminal, and we can sh root at slink.dragon.local to access our machine here. And this will essentially give us what we need. So we can see Docker is installed. We got Nginx with our certs. So what we want to do is now copy this, which is the Docker compose that we edited. So docker compose.yaml. Paste that and save. So what we can do here is now do a docker compose up-d for detach, which will then pull the Slink image, download all the commits essentially and packages, and then extract it on our machine to start running. So this isn't that big, so you can see it took about 8 seconds, not too slow. So we can do a PS on it, and we can see that it is running on port 3000. But because we have Nginx also doing it, we can actually go to slink.dragon.local, and it will forward it correctly to it. So by default, you kind of get something like this page here where you can get to upload stuff, but you can't actually upload anything because you need to be logged in. So let's create an account. So we'll create an account. We'll call it dragon.local. We'll type in a password here that we'll use, and then we'll hit sign up. So by default, it actually you have to approve accounts get signed up too. So it's inactive. So the way to approve it is you actually have to scroll down, and there's actual documentation on user approval. So you can run this command and then the user email. So that's what we'll do. So we'll run this command, and the email was that. So you can see now that my account has been activated. The other thing is user roles are also done the same way. But once you essentially have an admin user created, you can just do all this in the GUI. You don't actually need to do it on the command line. So for your first user to create, this is what you'll need to do. So we'll do the same thing, dragon.local, and then the role was role admin was what we need to do here. And now I should be able to log in, and it will actually I'll be an admin when I log in. So let's log in. And then type in the password, and then we'll hit sign in. So you can see now you get the page. You can take me to uploads. It doesn't give you the error here. But as a admin, you get this dashboard setting here that you can look at uploads, some stats in regards to things, users settings. So you can change the settings in regards to what you might want. The users, this is where you would add or give roles to as well over here. But let's take a look here what we can upload. And so we can hit it. It'll bring you to like your page that you can grab for uploads. Let's just upload this photo of my channel photo. You can add descriptions if you want to, and there is also a link that you can save. So this is essentially you've already uploaded. This is already there. These are just the options. So you got sharing policy, so you can share with others. So say for example you wanted to share this image, right? You can use this link to essentially share this image. So like if I were to open an incognito tab, you can see that this shares the image. Also, as well, if you want to just share it publicly on your site, so like you can see I'm not logged in, this is kind of the public page. You can also set it so that it is make public. And then if I were to go back to this page, you can see that this is now a public image. People can just go to the site and discover it. So if you want to make like an Instagram type, reel of pictures, or like just a photo gallery, you can use this and make certain images public for anyone to view, and then others that you want to share specific images that you don't want to share with the public, you can use your link to essentially give them access to it. It's just they won't be able to access it unless they have the link. But there you go. That's pretty much how you can use Slink to kind of do a self-hosted image service, which is pretty cool. And especially if you're like a photographer, or you're trying to set up like your own like kind of art photo gallery, this is kind of great to essentially share what you have with not too much work that you need to put on in the back end. So if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.